Hi YouTube mamas, Tina here. Allow me to guide you through a prenatal class today, fitted for all trimesters. This class is going to focus on lengthening the back of the legs, stretching out your hamstrings, and as always, getting some rhythmic movement into the hips and the low back, the sacrum. We're going to start in a cross-legged seated position. Whichever leg is in front for your comfortable seated position, doesn't really matter. We'll be swapping to the other side shortly. So you can rest your hands down on the tops of the legs. That can be quite grounding, or you can face the palms up, and that can be more energizing. And you're sitting as tall as you can, crown of the head up towards the ceiling. I want you to just freely breathe here for a few moments, allowing yourself to step away from whatever part of the day you were just in. Feel free to close the eyes if that's more comfortable to you as well. Otherwise, a soft gaze near the top end of your mat. We're going to take one hand to your heart and one hand right on your belly. I want you to connect knowing that the breath that you're taking in here now is the same exact breath that's filling your baby's lungs. See if you can even the breath out. Steady inhale, steady exhale. And we're going to rest the hands just off the side of the mat. And with your next inhale, lift the palms up, press the arms back, and then sweep up so you're getting really nice opening through your shoulders. And exhale, hands to heart center. And another one. Inhale, go back with the arms, then overhead. And exhale, hands to heart. And we'll take one more of those. Really find your breath here. Now you'll let your right hand off the right side of the mat, left arm is reaching up, and take a side stretch. Notice that the head might want to get heavier. Instead, pick up the left ear, bring it closer to left bicep. And then come all the way back up again. So now you're going to take your right leg and shin and just bring it towards the right side of the mat. You may have the toes facing off the side, or you can bring the top of the foot down, so whatever's comfortable. And this left leg is going to stay parallel with top end of the mat. So you're going to float the arms up again. Now take a twist to the left, and you can drop the right hand down and reach the left arm behind you for a twist. Fingertips can also drop down if you need that extra support. I want you to think about pressing this right hip a little higher and over towards the left so you get some opening in the hip. Now face forward again, lift the right arm up. We're going to take some dynamic movement. So on an exhale, reach it back. On an inhale, you'll come forward. Just take a stretch over towards the left. And exhale, we'll open back again. Inhale to come forward, a little bit of a twist. And exhale, open. Last one, inhale. And then we'll come right back to center. Take the right foot, release it. Both feet are off towards the right, and you can just press yourself up to your tabletop hands and knees. Take a moment to kick each leg back behind you, circling the ankles just to reset your knee joints. And then we'll find tabletop and work through some cat-cows. With your inhale, the belly button drops down. Lift your heart and your gaze. And your exhale to tuck and round. Curl in. Inhale, presses forward. And exhale, curl. And then continue with your breath. Feel the space being created in the front of the body on inhales. And then space for the spine and the low back with your exhales. And then you'll make your way back to center tabletop. And now the feet are going to shift over towards the left side of the mat. And you come to sit back down. So we'll have the same shape you just found on the first side, but now you'll take the right foot out and just plant it on top of that thigh. You can either have left toes facing out or bring the top of the foot down, whatever works for your ankle. And we'll reach the left arm up and then cross it over as that right hand reaches back or drops down behind you. So same twist going the opposite way. Now it's that left hip you want to press out, get a little length for your hip flexor. Walk yourself forward and keep the right hand down, left arm up. Let's exhale to reach it back again, open up your shoulder, and inhale to come forward with a little twist. Exhale to open. Inhale to close. Let's take one more of these. Exhale and inhale. And then let's come right back to center. Take the left leg, let's bring it in front to find that seated position again. And now the left hand goes wide, right arm up, and now take that opposite side, lean. Right ear closer to right arm. And then come all the way back up. So you can shift both of your feet towards the left, come up to your tabletop, hands and knees. Now you're going to let the hips press over towards the right, and then your gaze is going to look for your hips. So you're getting opening for your left side. Inhale, look down, hips at center. And exhale, hips and gaze left. And then you continue with the breath, getting into the side body, low back and hips. As always, no need to rush through the breath and the poses. Taking your final round and working yourself back to center tabletop. Once you're there, forearms can drop down. Soft interlace of the fingers out in front of you. We're going to rock yourself forward. And then the hips go to the left. Let's draw those circles all the way around and come forward again. So find the breath as you're working these forearm hip circles. Let the head go. Really notice what you're feeling. If any of these positions along the way feel good, if there's any tight muscles. And the next time you come forward again, take a quick pause. And we'll go the opposite direction. Hips to the right, back, around, and forward. Link with breath. Find your way back to center where you feel the shoulders stacked directly over the elbows. I want you to let the tailbone lift really high towards the ceiling, so that's going to give you that space at the low back. But let belly button just drop down, baby resting down towards the mat. And your head is super heavy. Just let the head hang. We're going to breathe here, some space into the spine, the chest. Then slowly make your way back up to your hands for your tabletop. Step your right foot all the way to the back of the mat and press out through the heel so you get that stretch for your calf. Hands are pressing down so you have strong shoulders. Then we're going to float that right leg off of the mat. So as you do this, there's a tendency for the belly button to lean down. So take the belly button, draw up. And then we're going to strengthen the hamstring. So float that right leg as high as you can get it. Then bring it down to a hover. And then tap it all the way down to the mat. So we'll take the 3-part movement. Inhale to float the leg. Exhale, use the strength of the leg to lift. Inhale to a hover. And exhale, tap down. Inhale, float. Exhale, lift. Inhale, straighten down. And exhale, tap. Now inhale, float the leg and pause. Press out through the heel. And you can take further balance if you'd like by floating the left arm out in front of you. So feel this strength. Keep breathing deeply. Stay with it, one more breath. Left hand down, drop the foot down, and now the heel falls to center. You can kick the left shin a little wider. Float the right arm up and circle your wrist. Now take this right arm, straighten it up towards the ceiling, and then just let it fall back behind you. And the last piece is to press out through the heel of the palm so that the fingertips extend. And you should feel a nice stretch in your wrist or all the way up your forearm. Right arm straight up, then reach that arm all the way across the body. One last piece, if you'd like some balance, lean into the left hand and the right leg can float. Let's bring that foot back down. Look down, hand to the mat. Draw the right knee in, take the knees wider, and we'll find a child's pose. So the hips can come all the way down towards the heels. Arms long, forehead down. So if this is not happening for you due to an expanding belly, you can always take this on forearms, or you can have a pillow out underneath in front of you and bring the elbows down to that. Let's come a little taller by resting on the forearms. Take right hand to your right knee, just a little gentle twist open to the right. Breathe space into the side body and the twist, and then we'll go the other way. Right arm down, left hand to thigh, and a gentle twist open. So you're not trying to press yourself as deep as you can go. Just feel a nice twisting of the spine and then deep breathe. Left forearm will rest down. Let the head hang for a breath. And then let's come up to your first downward facing dog. So the hands forward, tuck the toes under, and let the hips rise. It usually feels really nice to walk the dog, get some movement for the legs. Let the hips rock side to side. Move the head around. And then the feet go a little wider at the back of your mat, and you walk the hands towards the feet until the elbows can rest on the thighs. You let the head go, forward fold. Press each hand to the tops of the thighs so you're coming up halfway. We're going to pause in this halfway position. So we're going to take the right shoulder, let it drop towards center. You can bend as much as you'd like in the left elbow to then take your twist left. And then inhale, come back to center, two straight arms. And exhale is the left shoulder to center and twist. Inhale. Exhale, drop right shoulder. Inhale. And exhale, drop left. Let's take one more round. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Then inhale, center, walk the hands to hips, straighten the legs. We'll come up to standing and then heel toe the feet to a comfortable distance together. Let's reach the arms up. Nice and tall, inhale, and exhale them down. Root the feet down into your mat and bend the knees for a chair pose. So feel the tops of the legs start to fire up. The toes are pretty light. You can wiggle them around. And then take the hands and basket them behind your head. Elbows will press really wide. Take your belly button, take baby, hug a little closer into your spine, and then we're gonna tick-tock. Exhale to the right. Inhale, back to center, and exhale, take a lean to the left. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Keep moving with your breath. Strengthen the legs, strengthening your pelvic floor. And then work your final round. We'll come all the way to center, straighten the legs, and rest the hands down by your sides. The feet can go a little wider. Reach up on your inhale. Forward fold, elbows to the thighs. Shake the head out. Look to the top of your mat and walk out, downward facing dog. Once you're in your downward dog, the feet can come a little closer together if that's comfortable. Let's lower the knees down to the mat. Set up tabletop. And this side, we'll step the left foot back so the toes are grounded and you're pressing the heel back. At the same time, pressing the arms down and lifting the low belly a little higher. Now we'll strengthen your hamstring. Let's start by floating the leg, just a comfortable height, about hips height. Press out through the heel and then use hamstring strength to see how high you can lift it. Take an inhale and exhale, just back down to about a hover, and then tap the toes all the way down. Let's lift the leg a bit. Exhale a little higher. Inhale, hover. Exhale, tap. Strong leg the whole time. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale. Exhale, tap. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And tap. Right shin a little wider. Drop the left heel towards center. And you can float the left arm up. That wrist can circle. And then you reach the left arm nice and long. Open some space for left side. If you'd like some balance, lean into right hand and float that left leg. Now let's lower left foot, left arm straight up, and then let it fall just behind you. So some more space in the shoulder. Press out through the heel of the palm and extend the fingers. Left arm up. Let's look down. Lower that left hand. Let's float the left leg again and get off the right hand by reaching it out in front of you. Press the low to mid back a little higher. Find your deep breath. And then lower hand and knee. Let the knees go a little wider and come down to your child's pose. So it might feel really nice to circle out the wrists. Rise up to your tabletop. Downward dog. Tuck the toes and press your hips. Walk the hands backwards towards the feet again so that the elbows can rest on your thighs. Drop the chin. Inhale halfway up, hands to the tops of the thighs. Extend your arms. And then come all the way up to standing, the feet at a comfortable distance. Let's take one more variation of your chair pose. So root the feet down, bend the knees. I want you to focus on squeezing the inner thighs towards each other. If you do happen to have a block, you can place it in between the legs. Palms at heart center. Let the arms go wide. Take an interlace at the low back and roll your shoulders down. Lift your heart towards the ceiling so you're opening space for the front of the body while strengthening the legs. One more breath. And then straighten the legs, sweep the arms up, take a breath in, and exhale, hands to heart center. So now we're just going to take a walk towards the top of your mat. Your left foot will step forward, lean into it, and step your right foot back. Hands will find the hips. Your left foot can step wider if you need space for the hips. Right toes facing about 1 to 2 o'clock. Bend into your front knee. Hands at heart center for your warrior one. So options for your warrior one. If you're feeling too much crunch at the low back, take a slight lean forward. If you want more strength in the shoulders, reach the arms up and overhead. Most importantly, breathe. Stay with the breath even when you start to feel the pose get stronger. Now let's take left hand inside your left thigh. We're going to twist this warrior. So open your right arm all the way to reach the wall behind you. And if it works, you can gaze all the way back as well. Let's face forward on the inhale. Hands to heart, straighten front leg now. We're going to let the arms go wide and then take a hold of elbows just behind you. Inhale, lift up. And we're just going to lean out to about halfway. So I want you to listen to your front leg. We're getting a nice stretch for your left hamstring, but we're staying nice and tall in the body. Really press that left foot down so that you can rise right back up. Arms go wide and hands to hips. So from here, we're going to turn your body to face the right side of the mat. And then the feet are going to be parallel, so all 10 toes kicked in. And then set up for your goddess. So the heels will kick in and the toes are facing out. Hands to the tops of the thighs. And then just bend into your knees to find a comfortable distance. Then you'll walk your hands up to your hips and then sit up a little taller. Elbows will go wide and a bend for your cactus arms. Bring the elbows into touch. And if you've got a little further to go, that right elbow can dip underneath and you can find an eagle wrap. Now, if this is not working for you, again, just elbows touching. With your next inhale, let's lift the elbows a little higher, gaze a little higher, and on your exhale, let's curl it all in at center. And I'm going to let you find your breath here. The inhales to grow tall and extend your spine, and the exhales to contract. All the while, the toes are really light, so the weight is sinking back in your heels. And then let's work one more or finish off the round you're in. Come back up through to center. Let the arms go really wide And then a big breath in, straighten legs and arms, and you can sigh the air out. Exhale, hands to heart center. Heel toe the feet in a little closer, and then take a walk forward, top of your mat again. We'll take this going the other direction. So your right foot centered, step the left foot back, hands to hips. Setting up your warrior one, right foot can go wider. And the left toes are at about 10 or 11 o'clock. Bend your front knee, hands at heart center. And if it's too much on the low back, take a little lean out. And if you extended arms, you can reach them. Find your breath. Steady inhales matching steady exhales. Knowing that the strength of these poses is going to prepare you for labor, to breathe in difficult poses, difficult shapes that you might not want to be in, but to focus on the breath and hopefully not much else. Now let's add the twist. Right hand comes inside the leg and the left arm opens back. If you're able to, let the palm face the ceiling so you can open your shoulder. Inhale, face forward, hands to hips, and straighten the front leg. Take the elbows behind you. Breath in. And an exhale to take your lean out. So I wouldn't go beyond halfway. Make sure you're pressing that right foot down. And then your inhale to rise back up. Hands can find hips. And now we heel toe yourself to face the left side of the mat. So let's set up with goddess feet. So the heels kick in and the toes are kicking out. And we'll set the arms up in the 90-degree bend. Bring the forearms in and then bend at the knees. So let the toes be light. And if you went further, it's that left elbow underneath the right one. And we'll get right into it. So the inhale to lift up and the exhale to curl in. Now take your time with these movements. Notice what you're feeling, where you're feeling it. And then let's take one more or finish the final round that you are in. Coming back up to center. Arms go wide, straighten the legs, reach up. And exhale, center. Feel free to give a little shake out, let the hips go side to side. And then heel toe the feet closer in to take your step all the way forward. Once you're at the top of the mat, let's take the hands at hips and drop your right foot just behind you so the top of the foot is on the mat. Press the hips forward and see if you can bring the elbows almost back towards touch so you're opening your heart. And then lean into it. You might float that right leg. Now balancing can get trickier as your body starts to change with pregnancy, so don't worry if this seems really challenging. Then let's lower that right foot down, give a quick pedal. And the top of now the left foot just drops behind you, hips are pressing forward, elbows back, lean into it and float. Strong legs. And then back down, both feet down, give a pedal. And then you're going to walk yourself all the way to the back of the mat. Once you're there, reach the arms up with an inhale. The feet can go wider as you fold elbows to thighs. Let the head go, give it a spin around, a shake, a nod. Look to the top of the mat and walk out, downward facing dog. Few breaths here. Now let's drop the knees down. The right foot is going to just send off the side of your mat so that you can heel toe it towards the outside of that right hand. And what we're going to do is that foot can stay to the outside of the hand or it can come inside, but I really want you to listen to your belly and your pelvis. And what we're going to do is rock the hips back, and you can feel this right leg straighten, the toes may even float up. And then we rebend as you walk the hands forward, and you can really let the hips sink down. And so an inhale, you'll walk the hips back and straighten the right leg. And the exhale is to rebend. So we'll take a few more rounds here. Now the next time that right leg is straight, we're going to hold the stretch for your hamstring. So you can scooch the heel kind of forward, flip the toes up, get some length behind your right leg. If you're so inclined, you can add a twist here by bringing right hand to hip and gazing over your right shoulder. Right hand back down. Slide the heel closer to you so that you can rebend into that knee and walk forward. You can take a couple of hip rocks or hip circles here, getting into the inner hip. And then let's heel toe that right foot off the side of the mat so that you can swing that knee back underneath you. Take a couple sways side to side. And then we'll get the other direction. So the left foot goes wide. Let's heel toe foot to the outside of the hand. And then you can see if you like the hand to go on the outside, listen to your hips. And then your inhale breath is to let the hips rock back. The hands can walk with you. And the exhale is to walk forward as you bend the knee. So you're looking for kind of that Goldilocks stretch. You're not looking to get your deepest length of the muscles. Next time that left leg is extended, you can hold. And the toes are lifted up. Wiggle the left foot forward. That gives a little bit more space for the hamstring. Left hand can find the hip. If you added the twist, you go left. And then two hands back down. Draw the heel closer to you so that you can bend forward into your low lunge, side to side with the hips. And then set the left foot off the side of the mat so you can let it come right back behind you. And we'll come to your choice here. So you can come to a child's pose where the hips come nice and low. So that would be your low back opening. Or you can come into that triple hang where you keep the hips high and then just let your head and your heart get nice and heavy. Always deep, controlled breath. And from your child's pose, let's come on to the forearms. Let the head rest down. We're just going to let the hips go side to side. You can close the eyes here. The hips can also press back towards a child's pose and then forward. Just explore some of these shapes. Notice what feels good, if it relieves any tension or any muscle aches, because these are the poses you'll want to come to while you're laboring. Finish off that final shape or round of breath you're in. And make your way to hands, tabletop. The feet are going to sweep towards the right so that you can come sit down. And we'll straighten the right leg out. Left foot is near that inner thigh. We're going to take a twist. So the right hand inside the right leg, left arm up and opens back. So you can let that hand drop down, or you can half wrap it at your low back for a different opening of the shoulder. As you come to face forward, you're going to look towards the right toes and take a lean out for a fold. So I want you to focus on feeling the stretch behind the leg. So press out through the heel. The toes are drawing towards your body. So you have a nice active stretch. And you're nice and tall in your fold. Come back up. Now your right foot will meet your left foot for your bound angle pose. Hands will go behind you. Extend through the arms and open some space for your heart and your chest. You can look a little higher to find that extension. If you drop your chin, let the legs get heavy here. Release the inner thighs. We'll take this into a fold, taking a hold of the shins or the ankles. You're once again leaning out. So you should feel the stretch, more the inner hips, the inner thighs. If you start to feel it in your low like pelvic area, I suggest you come out of it and you find this heart opening shape instead. And then come back up. We'll now let the left leg straighten and you can pull your right foot in. Starting with the twist, the left hand inside the leg, right arm up and let it open back. Let it drop down or wrap around your low back. Unravel yourself to face forward. Press out through the heel and then take your fold over left leg. Walk back up. You can straighten right leg, give it any shakes or bobs. You can windshield wiper, knees side to side. And we'll set up for your rest, for your Shavasana. So again, prenatal yoga, we want to be laying down on your left side. So you bring the hands off the left side of the mat, walk them around back so that you can come lay down. If you have a pillow of some sorts, you can rest it between the legs to give some release to that right outer hip. Any pillowing under the head with the hand or the arm. Close the eyes. Use this time to drift away and to allow yourself some well-deserved rest. Take a couple deep breaths to come back to the space and wake up. You can take a quick roll onto your back so that you can straighten the arms and the legs. And then roll back onto your side. And I want you to use your hands more than anything to come up to a seated position. So not so much using your core to flop right out. Hands to heart. We'll take one final breath in through the nose, out of the mouth. Thank you so much for joining this prenatal class. I wish you all the luck in your pregnancy and your delivery. If you have any questions, type them in the comments below. I'll comment back. All the very best. Bye-bye, mamas.